Public Health, Janella Carrera. She is the Public Information Officer from Public Health, and Bertha Tyron, the Public Health Liaison Officer. Thank you, ladies.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having us.
Hi, good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
We wanted to bring you guys on to maybe clearly outline the process for people coming into Guam who need an exemption, a hardship exemption from quarantine. But before we get into that, just really quick, we were able to speak with the family, the sisters that we interviewed yesterday, and they told us that their hardship exemption was granted and they were released last night. Can you guys confirm that before we get started?
Well, you know, if that's what they're willing to disclose to you, then, I'm glad that they were able to confirm that with you. What we can say is that we worked with the family, and we did find a solution that all parties were able to agree to.
All right, and that being said, Bertha, if you could, or ladies, just walk us through, if I'm in the States or somewhere outside of Guam and I'm coming back in for funeral, death, ill family member, whatever the case may be, what's the process for me to apply for an exemption to the government mandated quarantine?
Sure, thank you, Chris. So if you're planning on traveling to Guam for a funeral or a family member who's in hospice care, or for some type of hardship request, basically what you would have to do is, all our quarantine protocols is laid out in our department's website, but you would have to first go to the government's quarantine facility. You would be transported directly to the QFAC from the airport. And after that, you will be assessed and screened by a team of public health professionals. You also have behavioral health specialists there and a medical team. And so you would have to explain to them your situation, submit supporting documentation, and they will be responsible for reviewing your requests based on the urgency. It may take a couple of days for them to make a decision.
Is this something though I'm not sure if you mentioned it, is this something that if I'm traveling to Guam, I could make the request from off island, so we're not going through all of this red tape when you get here? Did you say that?
Well, you can make the request prior to your departure. However, the standard procedure based on the guidelines says everybody has to go to QFAC first, right. And then they will be screened there. But again, everything is reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
Mm-hmm. And you guys do you recommend that before you travel to Guam, if you're going to make this, if you want an exemption or hardship request, you do it before you get here? Or it doesn't?
Yes, we always encourage the travelers to always take a look at our department's website because the protocols change. And so based on the new or the current protocols, it would give them guidances in terms of what they need to do prior to traveling. So yes, we work closely with them. We're in constant communication with them through emails.
And what type of supporting documents would people who are applying for this process need outside of what's already available on your website?
Sure. If they're coming in for, as an example, a death of a family member, they would probably just need to submit like an obituary or some kind of supporting document like a death certificate. If they're coming in for another hardship, such as a family member who's in hospice care, what I would normally do is ask them to provide maybe some information on the name of the hospice, or if they're in home hospice, we usually reach out to the nurse or to the doctor just to ensure that we have all the information that we need to for our director to make a decision.
There was something that the sister said yesterday about the reason why their hardship request was denied, because there was no memorial service that was planned. Does there have to be a memorial service in order for a hardship exemption? If you're flying?
Serena, I'm very familiar with this case, but however, the part about the memorial service I'm not aware of. But we did work closely with the family throughout the weekend through their point of contact to ensure that we address their needs, considering the urgency of the matter. And so we were able to resolve their issue first thing Monday morning.
Do you need to have a negative COVID test prior to arrival when you for the hardship exemption?
That's always very helpful, is to have a negative test for all exemptions, whether you're a CSW, an EHP, or you're requesting for emergency hardship, is to have a negative test upon arrival.
Okay. That was primarily the reason we brought you on, just to get some clarification, and for anybody else that may be flying into Guam because of a loss of level.
Also, I want to add, we do work with each individual if they don't have a negative test. We do work with them to see if we can, offer the negative test in the event that they don't have a negative test upon arrival.
Mm-hmm. And who makes the ultimate decision for the exemptions?
That's with the director.
Oh, Mr. San Augustine.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bertha. Thank you, Janella.
Stay safe.
No problem.
Okay, we'll see you.
Of course. Thank you.
Wash your hands. It's 9 o'clock. We're just right there with our KUAM News Decision 2020, but we're doing this great pizza giveaway with Pepsi.